Okay, so I'm going to do a run through mock demo of Stateboard for y'all so y'all know exactly what to expect and how it goes. So on the day of your Stateboard, make sure that you remember to arrive on time. So if your appointment is at 1 o'clock, get there at 12:30. Because if you come late, they will not let you in and you will have to pay again, okay? If you try to get there at 12:59, the door is probably already closed, so it's best to get there 30 minutes early. Make sure you're prepared, make sure you have everything that you need. If you lose something or if you forget something, then you're just gonna be SOL. So make sure that you double check your bag before you walk into the Stateboard, because once you walk into the building, you can't go back out. So if you walk inside and you realize you left your mannequin in the car, ain't nothing you can do about it. You can't go back and get your mannequin, you're just gonna fail and you're gonna have to repay. Make sure that you have your ID. You'll need to have your ID. Make sure your ID isn't expired. If you come in there with an expired ID, they're gonna send you home. You're gonna fail and you're gonna have to pay again. And don't nobody wanna pay twice for a test, okay? Because I think they're like $86 a piece. Okay, you wanna pay that one time and be one and done. Also, you'll need an admissions letter. Your admissions letter is something that's going to come to you in an email when you actually sign up and schedule your test. So make sure you have your admissions letter. If you don't have that letter, then they're not gonna let you take your test, okay? You'll fail and you'll have to reschedule again, okay? So you'll walk in to the building. They'll tell you exactly where to go, where to stand for your test. You'll walk in. Once you walk in, okay, you will have your bag. You're gonna set your bag directly underneath the table, and you're gonna wait for instructions.
Work area and client preparation and setup of supplies. You will prepare and set up your work area for your client. You will set up the universal supplies that you will use throughout the examination. You will also set up for the basic facial section of this exam. You will be expected to follow all client protection, safety, and infection control procedures. You will have 10 minutes to complete this section. You will be informed when you have 5 minutes remaining. Do not demonstrate any procedures until verbal instructions are given and you are instructed to begin. Step back to indicate you have finished. Number 1, the instructions will be repeated. Number 2, you may begin.
All right, so the key to passing Stateboard is make sure that you are listening, okay? Because they're telling you everything that you need to do. So if they didn't tell you to do it, make sure that you don't do it. If they do tell you to do it, make sure you do it in that section. So this first section is going to be me disinfecting the table and setting up for my first client. So the first thing I'm gonna do is pull out my hand sanitizer. I'm gonna sanitize my hands because you have to sanitize your hands before you go in your bag. All right. Next, you can unzip and go inside your bag.
So you can't put it on the table at all?
No. All right. Get your barbicide wipes and your gloves. Set those on the table. Sanitize your hands. Right. Now we're going to put out our bags. So your 3 bags are going to be your items to be disinfected, soiled linen, and trash. These bags will have to be directly underneath your table. And this is pretty much basically the amount of space you'll have when you go take your Stateboard, from the top of the table to underneath.
So basically I'm sorry.
Uh-huh.
But basically every time you get into your bag, you need to disinfect it.
Yep. Get my gloves out. out my barbicide wipe. Going to disinfect the table. This was on the table, so I'm going to wipe this off so I can set it back on. Pick up my hand sanitizer, wipe the bottom of my bottle, sanitize that, set it back down. Throw that in the trash. All right, sanitize my hands again. All right, now I can start setting up for my client. So the first thing I'm going to grab out is going to be my universal bag. So this is where my drapes are at, and also my towel to set my items on. Client. Make sure that your client's décolleté is covered and make sure their headband is on. Put my paper in the trash. Sanitize my hands. I'm going to get out my toner because my toner is one that I'm going to be using throughout the client one. I'm going to need steam towels. And I'm going to need my client one supplies. So the only thing that should be left in your bag right now is your stuff for client two, because you don't need that right now. So after you have everything else out of your bag, zip your bag up. When you're not using the bag, it has to be closed. I'm gonna go back in my universal bag, grab a pair of gloves. Then I'm going to open up my client one bag and take out everything that I need for this section. So I have my bowl and my water. I have my cleansing. I have my exfoliation. I have my massage. And I have my mask and moisturizer. Okay, throw this bag in the trash. Sanitize my hands. I'm gonna look, make sure I have everything the way I need it. So I have my client draped, headband on. I have all my supplies I'm gonna need for this section. I have my steam towels, my toner, my hand sanitizer, my universal bag. Once I look and see that I'm happy, I'm going to step back, indicating that I'm done. I'm going to wait for the next set of instructions. Once you step back, you cannot go back. Once you step back, you've indicated you're done. So you can no longer go back to your mannequin until the next set of instructions are read.
Client preparation and basic facial. You will prepare your client for the service. You will perform a basic facial. The basic facial will include cleansing, manual exfoliation, towel steaming, massage, and mask. You will be expected to follow all client protection, safety, and infection control procedures. You will have 25 minutes to complete this section. You will be informed when you have 12 minutes remaining. Step back to indicate that you have finished. Number 1, the instructions will be repeated. Number 2, you may begin.
And they read the instructions twice, so that also gives you another opportunity to process and go ahead and think about exactly what you're going to do. So they'll read the instructions once, they'll take a little pause, they'll read the instructions again. Also, these sections are timed, so for this section, you get 25 minutes. Don't stare at the clock. Don't worry about it. Just focus on the task at hand, because when you get down to 12 minutes, they'll let you know. They'll say you have 12 minutes remaining, so that'll help you keep up with the time. So don't sit there panicking like, oh no, how much time do I have? You'll know what they're going to tell you, okay? So, basic facial. So the first thing I'm going to do is get ready to cleanse the face. So I'm going to put some water in my bowl. And I'm not going to use a lot of water. Like I have the, I don't know if y'all can see the shadow, but I have the water about right there. That's all the water that you need. You have to remember, there's no sink. You can't pour this water out anywhere. So you're gonna have to be able to take a paper towel and soak this water up. So do not fill this bowl up, okay? All right, so I'm going to take out my supplies for cleansing. So remember, I have everything bagged individually so I can keep up with everything that I need. Take out my cleanser. 4x4s, 2x2s. Throw the little baggie in the trash. Sanitize my hands. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to wet my 2x2s just a little bit. Okay, I'm going to cleanse the lips one side at a time. And remember, we're working around the mouth, so make sure you're doing that bracing with your pinky. Throw this one in the trash. Sanitize my hands again. Then I'm going to cleanse the eyes. Make sure you're bracing. So, inner corner, outer corner, twice. And then top down through the lashes. They do the same thing on the other side. So remember, every time you throw something in the trash, every time you reach off your station, sanitize your hands to show that you understand infection control. That's what you're looking for, okay? All right, so for my cleanser, and I have mine as little ball, so I'm just gonna pour a little bit in my hand. And literally, just a small amount. Put the top back on. Okay. I'm gonna get a little water on my hands just to suck it up. Right, we're gonna do our spreading motions. Make sure you avoid getting the cleanser in the mouth and in the eyes, okay? So spread it up the face, then around, then through the nose. And then you can do circular motions going around the face. The top lip when you're doing your cleanser, in the corner of the nose. Don't rush through these sections because it can be up to 15 people in the room and you want to make sure your proctor sees you. Okay, there are mirrors all around and they also record, but you still want to make sure they see everything that you're doing. So for every motion that I do, I try to go around the face twice. Take my 4x4s and remove the cleanser. Make sure you remove your products well. sanitize. Alright, next I'm going to go in with some toner. I'm going to tone the face. Sanitize my hands. Alright, next thing I'm going to do is exfoliate. I'm going to take out my exfoliation supplies. So I have my 4x4s, my 2x2s, my fan brush. I have 2 exfoliating brushes. I have a portion cup, my exfoliant product, and I have my wooden stick to scrape out my exfoliant. My exfoliant is going to go into items to be disinfected, okay? Don't make the mistake and throw this in the trash. So whether you use an actual product or you use a portion cup, if it has exfoliant written on it, it needs to go in the items to be disinfected. I'm going to take my fan brush and apply the exfoliant to the face. Starting at the chin, avoiding the mouth, avoiding the eyes. All right, fan brush, eyes to be disinfected. Portion cup, trash. Sanitize my hands. All right, then I'm going to grab my exfoliating brushes and work around the face. Still making sure to avoid the mouth and avoid the eyes. And going around the face 2 or 3 times. Items to be disinfected. Sanitize my hands. Now, with the exfoliant section, you have to use a steam towel to remove it, okay? So make sure your steam towels are wet. Yes, take your barbicide wipe it off, and then you set it back on the table. And that's for anything. If you drop anything on the floor, you cannot leave it. You have to pick it up, and you have to sanitize it, and then you can resume your section. Just make sure that when you sanitize your product with the barbicide, make sure you change your gloves before you go back to work with your client, okay? All right, so with the steam towel, your steam towel will be wet. Make sure that you wring your steam towel out, so turn to the side. We're gonna pretend like it's a sink or a bucket right here. Wring out your steam towel. Okay. All right. Fold your steam towel. Shake it. Test it on your wrist to make sure it's not hot. All right. Then put it on your client's face. Make sure when you put the steam towel on your client's face, you can wrap it around the eyes, but make sure you leave out their nose so they can breathe, okay? And just remove your product. And your steam towel is going to go in soiled linen, okay? Not the trash, soiled linen. After you use your steam towel, go back in with your 4x4s and some water to make sure you have all the exfoliant off. Sometimes they will come behind you and they'll feel your mannequin and see if it feels gritty. Next, don't forget to tone. Alright, next is going to be your massage. Alright, so again, I have my 4x4s, 2x2s. I have my wax stick. And I have my massage product. Now with the massage product, I don't have a separate portion cup because I can just scrape this into my hand. Hold it like this, so that way the mouth of it isn't physically touching my hand. And just scrape it into my hand. Okay. So with the massage section, they're looking to make sure that you hit all 4 of your massage movements. So make sure you're doing your effleurage, pestissage, tap, potement, and friction. The order of it doesn't matter. Just make sure you do all 4 movements. And now you can do each movement for at least 8 times. I do each of those movements 8 times. I repeat the whole process one more time just to make sure that I was seeing. Then when you finish, you can take your 4x4 and remove your massage product. again. Then I'm gonna take my massage product, put that in as disinfected, and then any trash I have, I'm gonna put that in trash. Sanitize again. And then for the last step of the facial, that's gonna be your mask and moisturizer. So I have my portion cup, 4x4s, 2x2s. Have my wax sticks, my fan brush, and I have my mask and my moisturizer. Alright, so you have to make sure that your mask has color to it, okay? It cannot be a clear mask, it has to have color to it, okay? So I'm gonna take my mask and put it in my portion cup. I just need to be disinfected for the mask. Put my stick in the trash. I'm going to apply my mask to my client's face. Making sure that I avoid the eyes and the mouth. Once that's done, I'll put my fan brush inside to be disinfected. The portion cup will go in the trash. Now, to remove the mask, you can just use your 4x4s and water, but I recommend using the steam towel because you do have extra steam towels, and you have to make sure that you remove all the mask, okay? So using that steam towel is really gonna help you make sure you get everything off. But you still have to make sure you wring it out, fold it, wave it, and test it on your arm. Remember not to cover the nose. And remove your mask. Towel over the soiled linen. Go back in with your 4x4 and your water. Make sure you get all the mask off. Trash. Then I'm going to tone. going to apply my moisturizer and conclude the facial surface. I'm going to clean up my station. I'm going to take a look at my mannequin, make sure that I got everything off the face, make sure everything looks good. Then I'll step back and wait for further instructions.
Work area and new client preparations and set up of supplies, 10 minutes. You will break down your work area and properly dispose of supplies used in the previous section of this examination. You will prepare your work area for a new client. You will set up your work area with the universal supplies that you will use for the remainder of the examination. You will also set up your work area for the following sections of the examination. Hair removal of the eyebrows using simulated soft wax, tweezing, and facial makeup. You will be expected to follow all client protection, safety, and infection control procedures. You will have 10 minutes to complete this section. You will be informed when you have 5 minutes remaining. Do not demonstrate any procedure until verbal instructions are given and you are instructed to begin. Step back to indicate you have finished. Number 1, the instructions will be repeated. Number 2, you may begin.
Alright, so in this section, it's going to be breaking down everything we just did for client 1. It's switching over to get our station prepared for client 2, okay? So the first thing we're going to take care of is this bowl of water. Now by this time, you shouldn't even have that much water in the bowl, so it should be really easy to soak up with that piece of paper towel that you have. Soak up that water. Put those under the trash. My bowl is going to go in the ice to be disinfected, and the bottle of water can go in the trash. Alright, next thing I'm going to do is take care of my client. So, headband, this disposable headband is going to go in the trash. If you're going to use a real headband, like a linen headband, then of course it's going to soiled linen. Towel's gonna go in the soiled linen for my drape. Trash. Sanitize my hands. Okay. My mannequin head is not gonna go back in the bag. Once it comes out of your bag on the floor, nothing can go back in, but you still need to sanitize your table. So you'll take everything and set it on top of your bag. Take these gloves off. I'm gonna sanitize my hands. I'm going to go into my universal bag and get a new pair of gloves. Grab my Marticide wipes. I'm gonna sanitize my table again. Take these gloves off. Get my drape from my mannequin. Headband. I'm going to get out my client 2 items. I'm going to take a look, make sure everything looks good. Zip my bag up. Sanitize my hands one more time. And then step back and wait for the next set of instructions.
New client preparation, hair removal of the eyebrows by tweezing and using simulated soft wax. 5-minute setup, untimed procedure. You will have 5 minutes to prepare your client for the following section of this examination. Hair removal of the eyebrow by using simulated soft wax, tweezing, and facial makeup. Please do not begin any procedure until the verbal instructions have been read and you are instructed to begin. Step back to indicate you have finished. The instructions will be repeated and you may begin.
Sanitize my hands. I'm going to go into my universal bag and get a new pair of gloves. Sanitize my hands. I'm going to go in my client 2 bag. And I'm going to take out my items for waxing and tweezing. I'm going to have my pre-epilation, post-epilation, and my simulated soft wax. I have 2x2s. I have my wax strips. I have wax sticks. A Q-tip, and a mascara wand, and of course my tweezers. In this instance, a piece of trash fell on the floor. So I'm going to pick it up, toss it in the trash, sanitize my hands. I'm going to look at my station, make sure I have everything that I need for the waxing and tweezing. Make sure that my mannequin is fully draped with a headband. I'm satisfied. Then I'll step back and wait for the next set of instructions.
Do client preparation and hair removal of the eyebrows by tweezing and using simulated soft wax. You will perform the hair removal of the eyebrows by tweezing and using simulated soft wax. You will select one eyebrow to demonstrate a simulated soft wax and tweezing procedure. You will be expected to follow all client protection, safety, and infection control procedures. You will be instructed individually by the examiner to demonstrate the tweezing and soft wax procedure. This is an untimed section. Do not begin to demonstrate the soft wax and tweezing procedure until you are instructed to do so by the examiner. The instructions will be repeated.
So this section is the only untimed section of your test. So the proctors will come to you individually. They'll stand in front of you. They'll say, demonstrate waxing with simulated soft wax. You'll do that. Then they'll say, demonstrate tweezing. Then you'll do the tweezing. So you will not start until the proctor actually comes to you and tells you exactly what to do. Okay? They come to everybody individually. Okay. So the first thing they're probably going to have you do is do the waxing. So when they come over and they tell you to demonstrate simulated soft wax, make sure you sanitize your hands. All right. We're going to take our 2x2 and our astringent. Okay. Make sure you grab your astringent and not your toner. Okay. To clean the eyebrow. Do this in the trash. Sanitize your hands. Okay. Next, you're going to take your soft wax. Take your wax stick. Demonstrate the temperature of the wax on yourself. So test the wax. Throw that stick in the trash. Then you can take a wax strip, pull it off of yourself, throw it in the trash. You're going to wax the top of the brow. I'll skip the step. Back it up. Apply your powder, yeah.
When you do the test on your arm and you throw it in the trash, you don't have to sanitize your hands before.
No, I went close to the trash can. I didn't touch it. Yeah, if you touch the trash, then sanitize your hands.
Okay.
But if you don't touch the trash, you're fine. Okay, so take your powder. Okay. Drop it down on the brow. Eyes to be disinfected for your pre-epilation. Okay. Rub the powder along the length of the brow. Okay. Then you would test the wax on yourself. Then wax the client's brows. Make sure you go with the direction of the hair growth and spread the wax throughout the length of the brow. Get your wax strip. Make sure that when you're smoothing your strip, make sure you're going the direction of the hair growth. Make sure that you hold the skin taut, and then make sure you pull your strip parallel. Immediately apply pressure. Throw your strip in the trash. Then you're going to take your antiseptic spray.
They don't make you do the whole eyebrow?
Nope.
And just one?
Yep, you'll just do the top. brow with antiseptic. Then get your post-epilation product. And just put it on a Q-tip. And just spread it along the length of the brow. Wax and epilation. I need to disinfect it. The Q-tip will go in the trash. I touched the bag, so I'm going to sanitize my hands. And then I'm going to wait for further instructions. Now they're going to tell me to tweeze the brow.
Please tweeze 3 hairs from the same eyebrow and conclude the surface.
Alright, so I'm going to take my strengthen again. I'm going to clean the brow. I'm going to brush the brow with my mascara wand. Alright, you're only going to tweeze 3 hairs, and that's from the bottom. Make sure that you're holding the skin taut, whether it be with your pinky that you're tweezing with or your opposite hand. Also have a 2x2 in your hand to catch the hair that you tweeze. So 1 hair, white, hold the skin taut, 2 hair, white, hold the skin taut, 3 hair, white. That's it. Put your tweezers are to be disinfected. Get 2x2 in the trash. Grab your antiseptic. Clean your brow. Make sure you got all the powder and everything off the brow. Make sure everything looks good. Then you can step back and wait for further instructions.
Facial makeup, 20 minutes. You will perform facial makeup. You are expected to apply the facial makeup in the following order: foundation, powder, blush, eyeshadow, eyeliner, mascara, and lip color. You are expected to brace when working around the eye and mouth areas. You will be expected to follow all client's protection, safety, and infection control procedures. You will have 20 minutes to complete this section. You will be informed when you have 10 minutes remaining. Step back to indicate that you have finished. The instructions will be repeated. You may begin.
So, you don't have to do the makeup on your client backwards. Okay? You can turn your mannequin to face you. Just make sure that your mannequin stays draped the whole time. I'm going to get out my makeup supplies. Eyeliner, my eyeshadow, powder, and blush, have my mascara, I have my foundation as the exact same color as this mannequin, have my lip color, and I have my lip liner. And I also have my tools to apply the makeup. Make sure you have some wax sticks so you can scrape the powders into your palette. So when it comes to using your palette, you can only put one makeup in the palette at a time. So you can put your foundation in the palette, use your foundation, then you'll put your powder on the palette, then use your powder. But you can't put everything in the artist palette at one time. You have to do it individually as you use it. So that's enough foundation. That's all you want. foundation to my client's face, I'm going to do it very lightly in stifling motions. Making sure that I cover the whole face. Down into the jawline and into the neckline. Making sure I don't have any lines of demarcation. But if you use the same color foundation as your mannequin and you go very lightly, you won't have a problem. Look, make sure that looks good. Then I'll throw the wedge I'll use the foundation. I'll put that in the trash. Next, I'll get my powder. And I'll squirt some powder. Powder to the face.
Is that another little sponge that you're using for the powder?
Yeah, it's like it's one of them little round cosmetic sponges.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they sell them at Dollar Tree.
Okay. Thank you.
Or you can use a 2x2. You can use a cotton round. You can use cotton. Alright, so got my powder on. Trash. Alright, next is going to be my blush. Blush into my palette.
So as far as, I know you use sponges and things, would we use the brushes with the non-wooden things?
If you want to, you can.
Okay, we don't have to.
You don't have to. I think it's easier to use all disposable. You just throw it in the trash as you go, versus using each individual brush and then having to remember to put it in your aisle to be disinfected. And then, what if you realize you didn't bring enough brushes, but you didn't bring any disposables? So, for our blush. Alright, next is going to be our eyeshadow. And when you do your eyeshadow, use two colors so they can see a contrast. So use a light color and a dark color. And for applying my eyeshadow, I just use a Q-tip. Alright, so we're working around the eyes, so make sure we're bracing with our pinky. perfect. They're just more so worried about client safety. Alright, next we're going to apply our eyeliner. Make sure that your eyeliner pencil is sharpened before you go. So once again, working around the eye, so make sure we're bracing.
Are you allowed to touch the mannequin head while you're doing that? Like, your other hand?
Yeah, you can. Alright, then you will go ahead and get ready to apply your mascara. Remember, don't use the mascara wand that comes in the mascara. Use your disposable mascara wand. And of course, your mannequin doesn't have lashes, so you'll just pretend. Alright, then we'll move on to the lip liner. Right. Make sure that you're bracing around the mouth. And then you'll apply your lip color. We're going to scrape that onto our palette.
You gotta scrape that, scrape the lip liner?
The lip liner, because it's the sharpener. Lipstick, remembering to brace around the mouth. Alright, then take a second look, make sure you did everything that you need to do. Eyeshadow, eyeliner, foundation, powder, lip liner, lip color, mascara. If you're happy with everything, then you just kind of start cleaning up your area. So all of your makeup is going to go into items to be disinfected, including the palette. If you use brushes, those will go into items to be disinfected, but if you use disposables, they can go in the trash. Alright, take a second, make sure everything looks good. If it does, then step back and wait for further instructions.
Blood exposure procedure, 10 minutes. You will demonstrate the blood exposure procedure. You will imagine the following scenario. During the service, your client has sustained a minor cut on the chin. The injury is such that you can continue with the service. You have not come in contact with the blood and your work area has not been contaminated. You are expected to demonstrate the proper procedure for a blood exposure. You will be expected to follow all client protection, safety, and infection control procedures. You will have 10 minutes to complete this section. You will be informed when you have 5 minutes remaining. Please step back to indicate that you're finished. The instructions will be repeated. You may begin.
Alright, so your client has a cut to the chin, okay? So the gloves that you had on, we're gonna take those off, throw those in the trash. Sanitize our hands. We're going to go in our universal bag, take out our first aid kit, and put on a clean pair of gloves. hands. I'm going to open up my first aid kit. I'm going to take out one alcohol pad, one Band-Aid, one gauze. Sanitize my hands. Going to open up my gauze. Right. Apply pressure to the chin for a couple seconds. Throw that away. Sanitize my hands. Going to open up my alcohol pad. Clean the area. Throw the alcohol pad away. Sanitize my hands. Then I'm going to open up my Band-Aid. On my Band-Aid. Throw away my trash. Sanitize my hands, make sure everything looks good, then I'll step back and wait for further instructions.
Candidate summary and final cleanup.
Wait, I'm sorry, you don't take those gloves off?
Huh?
You don't take those gloves off?
Yes, I do. I apologize.
You scared me.
I just start sweating.
Thank you.
Yeah, take them gloves off, sanitize your hand, but you don't have to put on a new pair of gloves.
Okay.
All examiners have indicated they have completed their assessment. This concludes the National Aesthetics Practical Examination. Make sure that all kit supplies and disposable materials are taken with you. Thank you for your participation. You are dismissed.
Okay, so now you can just start cleaning up your stuff, but make sure that you put everything where it's supposed to go. So linen will go in soiled linen. Headband in the trash. Leftover steam towel is going to go in soiled linen. Trash in the trash. All my universal stuff was disposable, so that's gonna go in the trash. First aid kit, has to be disinfected. Your toner and astringent, has to be disinfected. Paper towel trash, hand sanitizer, has to be disinfected, and your mannequin head will go on the ice to be disinfected.
So they're still grading you at this point?
Yeah, that's still grading at this point. You can't throw anything away inside the facility, so you take everything out with you. And you can't put nothing back in your bag. So you're gonna walk out with your duffel bag or whatever you have, and your 3 bags, your ice to be disinfected, trash, soiled linen. And then you're done. And then that's it. Cool. Questions?